Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being interested in being a United Way storyteller. Storytellers are a critical part in helping United Way and our community impact partners raise funds, recruit volunteers, and share the information about the work we do in the community with the community. Today, we're going to give you a few tips on how to be a good storyteller, tell you what the storytelling process will look like, and you'll even see an example story from one of our United Way staff members. My name is Joey Wallace. I am Vice President of Digital Strategy and Communications at United Way of the Midlands. I'll be giving you some information about United Way's brand messaging so that you can incorporate that into your story. After that, Sheldon Pascal will give you some information and tips on how to be a confident, qualified storyteller. And then after that, you'll hear a story from United Way staff member Tiffany Johnson. What is a United Way storyteller? First of all, a United Way storyteller is someone who's called upon to share their personal story or a story of someone they've helped or a story about their organization with folks typically at a United Way fundraising campaign at local employers such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Colonial Life, and so on. The goal of your story is to help raise funds, to inform people about the work that you've done, and to thank them for the support they've given us in the past. Remember that what we want you to do is tell your personal story, but also wrap it into the greater story of how United Way and our community partners create change in the Midlands. First of all, let's talk a little bit briefly about what United Way of the Midlands does. We create generational change by helping meet immediate needs, by breaking cycles of crisis, and by helping people build their own paths to success. Almost any work that you see done by United Way or one of our partners fits into that group. When we talk about United Way of the Midlands, what we're trying to do is guarantee good in the community. We know that no matter what you do, if you give, if you volunteer, if you advocate for United Way and our community impact partners, you're guaranteeing good in the Midlands for someone, somewhere.
Thank you, Joey. And greetings, everyone. First of all, thank you all for sharing your stories. It is you who are communicating the impact of our work to citizens in the Midlands so that we can connect with them and make a difference, make change for good. So why stories? Why is it important for the community to hear firsthand what United Way of the Midlands and its partners are doing? One could argue that data and statistics can motivate donors or volunteers, but without your stories to contextualize these numbers, we lose the human component. And that's what we do. We are in human services, and we have stories. What a privilege. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. First, setting up your story. The exposition, if you will. We've got to know the context before we can introduce the players. Am I right or am I right? We need to get to know you, the storyteller, and what you do. If you are a partner representative, please share what organization you are representing, and feel free to sing your praises. Briefly explain to our listeners what your organization does and does well. Who is impacted by your organization? And why are your programs important for this community? This is also your opportunity to mention that data that we love oh so much in order to emphasize the impact your organization is making long term. It's up to you what that data share looks like, but keep it relevant, keep it meaningful. Are you with me? Pause for a dramatic effect. Outstanding. Later, we'll talk about the positive impact pauses and questions can have in effective storytelling. Now, you've given a little exposition, so it's time for the players. Let's dive into your protagonist's story, or the beginning of your journey, if in fact you are sharing your own personal experiences. This is the part right here where you're really going to start to hook your audience. Who is this individual? What are they like? Why have you chosen their story to share with us today? What are their circumstances? Help us get to know your protagonists so that they feel connected to each of these stories. This is the beginning of your protagonist's narrative. And following this, our story takes us to, wait for it, the conflict. What need or conflict has brought you or your protagonist to this organization? And how does this conflict affect how they experience the world? And how does this tie into the mission of your organization? All right, folks, we are now approaching the turning point of what I assume is now a very clear and concise narrative. Please share how your organization was able to address the needs of your protagonists. And what was the impact made? Where are they now? This is the culmination. This is the story. The preceding bits, while important, were really more of an overture for this moment. And at this point, what key takeaway are you leaving your audience? Make the ask, spread the awareness, and express the need. All right, let's review, shall we? Share your exposition, introduce your protagonist, define the conflict and how it was addressed, leave an impact. This is your opportunity, storytellers, and thank you for taking it. All right, so now we have worked out the meat of your story. So let's consider best practices. Now, some of this may seem a little bit obvious, but it's important nonetheless. Be direct and to the point. Have conviction by eliminating words like, I think. Your assertiveness will carry more weight. Also, shorter sentences are harder hitting and easier to follow. And occasional anecdotal repetition can carry a significant impact on your audience. Am I right or am I right? As you practice, write out your story. This will aid you in your ability to organize the flow and clarity of your narrative. Finally, it's time to buckle up and share your stories. Be authentic. It's likely that many of you have the responsibility of sharing someone else's story. Understand that significance. Your enthusiasm, tone, gestures, and facial expressions should convey the sincerity of your story. Be natural, but have energy. These stories are meant to activate our listeners, not put them to sleep. Also, incorporate pauses as well as questions, hypothetical even, to engage them further and invite them into your story. Remember that we are visual people too, so engaged body language and eye contact can really take you far in the art of storytelling. And all of that being said, I know you are ready to share your story. For your reference, we have an example story by United Way's Youth and Resiliency Manager, Tiffany Johnson. Thank you for all that you do, and best of luck.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Johnson. I'm the Youth and Resiliency Manager for United Way of the Midlands. One of the things we do is provide resiliency kits to our MRC schools. What is MRC? That is our Midlands Reader Consortium, which we go into our local schools with, which are Title I's, and we help our children learn how to read and get them on grade level, because what we do know is if you can't read by 4th grade, you most likely will struggle the rest of your life. So not only do we focus on our MRC students, we focus on the entire school. So we open up the clothing closets to assist kindergarten to 5th graders. Through you guys' donations last year, we were able to help 16 schools across our counties. We were able to donate over 150 winter coats to our children. We gave out socks, we gave out underwears, we gave out t-shirts and hoodies. You name it, you gave it. What else did you help do? You came back and you also helped sort it and pack it. And then you guys went above and beyond and drove it to all of our counties. You guys went as far as Orangeburg and Calhoun. We thank you guys so much. Because of this, we had so many students who were able to come to school and do exactly what they were supposed to do, and that's focus on school. We understand we are post-pandemic and families are still having financial issues, but it's not the child's situation to try to figure out how do I stay warm. And to ensure that the family did not have more stress, we gave them what they needed. The closets are there so that we can assist anyone. I can't wait to see what you guys do next year. Please go to uway.org and volunteer. There are so many opportunities out here and we need you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Next, what I'd like you to do is take some time to work on your story. Write it down, share it with someone like a friend or a coworker, and get some honest feedback on it. Then, when you're ready, remember to go to ua.org/storytellers. There'll be information about how you can take the next step, which is to tell your story in front of United Way staff. We will also provide you feedback, constructive criticism, and help you be ready to go out and tell your story to the community. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please reach out to Live United Storytellers at ua.org.